BS Show, Season 4, Episode 11. Sean Gankars with Justin Chaz, Warren Adam Tyne, as always. And boys, we had a 6-3 week. Chaz, good for us. Couple 3-0s. Adam, not where you want to be, 0-3 there. But hey, the overall record's back above 500, 36, 34, and 2. We are bouncing back. Adam, we do go first this week. We were just talking pre-show where they go through all the games. You already got some that you like. You feeling the bounce back, feeling confident about it.
Well, Gang, first of all, I'd like to congratulate you on the first dub against me this year. Well done,
Thank
sir. Also, great job to you guys last week. Well done, huh? 6-0 week. Very nice. Jazzy made a point. Maybe I'll just, whatever I think is going to happen, do the opposite. But well, hopefully we can bounce back. And like we said pre-show, if I can find a way to get on track, then we'll be cooking.
Yeah, that's all it takes. I can't say too much because I've been on an absolute roller coaster here. Like I said, I'm back to 13-11, but 1 week I'm above 500, the next week I'm below, then I go back above. So maybe I can find a little more consistency. But Chaz, you're the breadwinner right now, sitting 16-7-1. How are we to keep that momentum going?
Yeah, hopefully. It's been a good first half, but doesn't mean anything if you fall off. So we'll get AT on board. Maybe we'll start fading his own picks, and we'll get a 9-0 weekend here one time.
Yeah, that is true. Week 9, officially the last week of the first half of the regular season here. New 18-week schedule in the NFL this year. But let's get into it. Thursday night, as always, Chaz, they go to you with Gonzo. Colts, 10.5-point favorites at home against the Jets. Mike White, incredible game last week for the Jets to get them a win against the Bengals. Over under 45.5. Is Gonzo on the Mike White tree?
This was a Gonzo juke out once again. And the last time he did this, he did pick the winner. I told you at pre-show, some would say Gonzo has found his rhythm here in Jersey. He's 2-0-1 in his last 3 weeks. He is actually back in the Colts here, laying the 10.5, which I was surprised about. I honestly, I kind of like the Jets at first, but I'm not going to go against Gonzo. I'm going to hope there's points. Starting Mike White in our 2-quarterback fantasy league, so that's where I'm at. But let's go Indy to win and cover here. I'm going to go 31-20 Colts.
Jazz, I did not realize you're starting Mike White. I'm assuming because Brady on a bye.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. That being said, I am going to ride with Gonzo here. I see this as around a 10 to 13-point game. Mike White had a great game last week. Don't get me wrong, but I think at home against the Bengals team, it didn't really come to play. That's just kind of what happened. Colts, an absolutely desperate team at home Thursday night. I mean, they have to win this game for their season, and I think they come out convincing. I think their defense plays really well. Jets struggle to score some points. Carson Wentz doesn't play exceptional, but plays well enough to win. Does not make those ridiculous pick-six turnovers like he had last week with the one-arm left-handed throw from his own end zone. I'm going to take the Jets. I'm going to take the Colts to win and cover here, 27-14.
Did Wentz really do that? I missed that play if he did.
Did I see that video, Gank?
No.
He was going to get left-handed. So he threw up a left-handed throw from his own end zone with two guys on him, pick six for the D lineman.
I've seen Eli do that more than once back in my day. I'll ride with Gonzo here too. I mean, I'm pretty torn about this game. I think 10 points is kind of right on, which almost makes me want to take the Jets with that hook. But I'll go with the crowd and Gonzo here. Now I can make arguments for both sides here. I do think Mike White should honestly take a step down from last week. I think a lot of people may be expecting almost the same thing and maybe loving the Jets plus this many points. So, maybe Colts are a way to lean here. I do like the over, though. I think the Colts are going to find a way to score some points. I think the Jets and the big guy on their need against you in fantasy this week, Adam. I need not expecting another 30-point fantasy game from Michael Carter, but I think he's capable of getting me 15 to 20 plus points here tonight. I think we see close to 100 scrimmage yards again from him. Hopefully another touchdown, fewer receptions out of him, but it's not going to be enough. Colts, tough loss last week. Still like this Colts team. Still think they have a chance to get hot and make a little playoff push in the AFC here. So give me the Colts at home. I'll go with the same score as you, Chaz, 31-20.
Stay hot, Gonzo.
Yeah, let's see. All right, Houston and Miami. Adam, your Fins, 5.5-point favorites at home here. over under 46. Houston still looking for their first win since week 1. Do they have a chance to get it against Miami here, Adam?
You two guys both said they were going to win one game for the next 10. It was that week 1. Is Tyrod back? I don't.
Yeah.
I think he is. Yeah.
Okay, then I'm definitely taking the Texans. Yeah. I mean, the Fins have not given me a reason to think. I don't really think they're my Fins anymore, but for the show's sake, we'll take that. I'm going to go with Chazzy's Texans to cover here. I could easily see them winning this game. I won't pick them to win, but for me, it feels like a game they can win, and they believe that they can win, so they may just go into Miami and figure this out. Dolphins, something's up. I don't know if they think Tua is the guy or they don't believe in the coach, but they are just not the team they were last year. And that is why I'm going to take the Texans to barely lose this game, but cover in Miami. 21-20 Fins win.
Yeah, I'm going to ride with you on that. I'm going to take the Fins to win too. I'll take the Texans to cover. I borderline want to pick the Texans to win a football game for the second time this year, but I'm not going to do it. I actually seen, even though the Dolphins not nearly as good as they were last year, I actually like what I've seen from Tua a little more than what I saw from him last year so far. I think he has a chance to score some points at home here against Houston, but I mean, Brandon Cooks has kind of been a monster in that Houston offense somehow, and this Dolphins defense had the question mark all year long. So I think Houston's actually be able to keep up with Miami. I do have another lean on the over here at 46. Probably like that better than the actual spread in this game. With that said, though, I will take the Dolphins to win, Texans to cover 27-23.
This is going to be surprising here, but I'm going against my Texans. I like the over here with the Yank. I do. I think obviously Tyrod being back lowered this line, I would think. But I think the Fins they just need to win a football game. And when you look at a team that's just as bad as you're getting a home game against them, and that's the Texans. And not to mention, Tyrod, as much as I love Tyrod Taylor, and in weeks to come, I will probably be taking the Texans to cover a lot of games. This isn't it. He hasn't played football since week 2. I expect him to be a little rusty. And this Dolphins team that hasn't looked great held the Bills' offense at 3 points in the first half last week in Buffalo. They fell apart a little bit in the second half, but I expect them to, at a home game here against a team that they, even as bad as they are, they should beat. I'm going to take them, and I also think a lot of people are going to be on the Texans because Tyrod is back. So give me 1 week with the Texans. I'm going to take Fins to win and cover, like the over with the Yank, though. 30-21 Fins.
Fins bouncing back here, Adam.
How about it?
What week does Adam hop back on the ship for the Fins?
Oh, that's a
far win this week.
I'll give it week 13. Adam's be back in them. All right. Pretty decent 1 o'clock game here. Denver and Dallas. Dallas 9.5-point favorites at home. Over under 49.5. Denver finally found a way to win a football game again, get themselves back to 500 here. And Dallas has been red hot since their week 1 loss to Tampa Bay. With that said, everybody knows I'm a Dallas backer. I'm going to pick them to win this game. I'm actually going to take the Broncos to cover here, the 9.5. I do think Dallas keep their offense rolling. Their offense is one of the best in the NFL, clearly. They got numerous running backs that are looking at 1,000-yard seasons, numerous receivers looking at 1,000-yard receivers seasons. There's just too much going on, and their defense has been the best it's been in the past 5-6 years. With that said, though, I still think there are some ways to beat that secondary. Everybody's loving Trayvon Diggs, and as many interceptions as he has, there's also as many plays as he's kind of gotten cooked on. He's been very boom or bust all year, but the interceptions are going to make him look better than he actually has been. With that said, I think Denver has receivers that can beat the secondary a little. I think they keep it close, but Dallas wins this one at home here, 27-21.
Yank, I'm going to take your Cowboys to win and cover here. This seems like such a game that the Broncos get smoked in to me. They just beat a bad team at home in Washington, which they've done all year. They've beaten bad teams usually at home. But they haven't shown me enough against good teams. Even though with the Ravens, they hung in there, but Lamar took over, and I think a very similar thing happens this week. Dallas is absolutely for real at home. Dak coming back. I just see them putting up so many points against the Broncos defense that just lost one of the best linebackers of all time in Von Miller and is not ready to play. So I like Cowboys to win and cover pretty easily by 2 touchdowns. I don't see this to be much of a game. I'm going to go 31-17 Dallas.
I'm with Gank here. I'm going to take the Broncos to cover the 9.5 after I said they were dead last week. But in fairness, they tried to. I don't know if you saw the ending of that game in Denver. They tried to hand that game back to the football team.
Your football team?
By just not running the ball, throwing it, and then fumbling and disaster. But the Cowboys so far this year 7-0 against the spread, which is absolutely insane. Obviously, Dak coming back is a massive boost to that team, although Cooper Rush didn't look too bad last week. But with that being said, I just feel like this is a game that the Cowboys are going to win this game. I just feel that Denver is going to come in and cover the 9.5. 9.5 is a lot of points. Denver's not a horrible team. I mean, they have the defense to maybe keep the Cowboys in check somewhat. It all depends how well Teddy Bridgewater plays. I expect them to play somewhat decent and keep them close. So I'll go Cowboys 24-20.
Wow, close game.
Good surprise. All right. Ravens are back, Chaz. 6-point favorites at home against the Vikings here, over under 49.5. How do we feel about Baltimore coming back this week?
Yeah, well, I mean, if they play as bad as they did 2 weeks ago, I'm going to be very angry. They looked horrific before the bye. So good thing the bye came when it did. They're playing a Vikings team that just lost to Cooper Rush. I'm going to say this. I think the Ravens win. I'm going to say they cover. I'm not entirely, certain on that. But my favorite play of this game is the over. The Ravens are 32nd in the league against the pass this year, which is absolutely insane to think about when you think of their secondary. Obviously, they don't have Marcus Peters, but they're getting beat through the air. So I expect Kirk and Justin Jefferson and Thielen, that entire passing attack to be able to move the football. And I expect Lamar, who has said he is 100% and this is the best he's felt in years, off the bye. So I think Lamar for Adam's fantasy team and for the Ravens is going to have a very big day. So give me the Ravens. Like I said, I'll take them to cover. The over is the play here, though. I'm going to go 33-23 Ravens.
Yeah, Gank. I got Lamar and Thielen against you here, so I'm liking those matchups right now. I have hated the Vikings, and I am so happy that they lost to the Cowboys and Cooper Rush last week because it just hopefully showed them that Kirk Cousins is not their guy and they need to rebuild around somebody else. I like the Ravens to win and cover here only because they got smoked by the Bengals before the bye. Had to be coming off a big win. I didn't think that, but I think they come out really ready to play. Vikings have a really tough loss, coming off a bad loss. I don't see them being able to stop Lamar. I think Everson Griffin I saw is hurt, or Danielle Hunter, one of the two got hurt in the Vikings. So I think that'll help hurt them a lot. I think Lamar comes out, plays well. Minnesota scores some points, but the Ravens are just too much at home in a hostile environment. I'm going to go 31-20 Baltimore.
Yeah. Definitely not happy about those matchups. A little more worried about Lamar, though, than I am Thielen. Baltimore, a couple weeks to prep for this game, especially as Chad says, after that terrible loss a couple weeks ago. I think Baltimore should come out ready. I think this defense should come out ready, a little fired up at home. And Lamar is going to cook in this game against Minnesota. Minnesota's secondary pass defense has looked decent, but I think that may have to go with the schedule a little bit. The second new face of Kyler Murray or Dallas offense, the yards are there. And I think Baltimore and Lamar Jackson's to be able to pick up a lot of yards on offense here. I actually think they're going to handle the Vikings with ease at home here. I still like my odds for the Vikings possibly squeaking into the playoffs in the NFC. That 7th spot is going to be pretty wide open, but I just don't see a win here for Minnesota. Baltimore, 2 weeks of prep after that loss. They're bouncing back strong here. It could be one of those blowouts we've seen Lamar hand some teams in his years past. Give me the Ravens winning this one at home 34-17.
I would love that.
Like that.
Oh, I'm sure you would, bud. Nice, easy, kick back, feet up type of game, hopefully, for you. All right, New England, Carolina. Carolina 3.5 point home dogs here. Over under 41. And this New England team has kind of been throwing me off all year. I do believe that they are good and are getting there. Obviously, way better than what we saw last year. Well, I still don't know what I'm going to expect to see from them week in and week out. I do like what Mac Jones is doing. I think over time he's going to get better in this Belichick offense and scheme and everything. It's just, like I said, I just haven't seen enough yet to know what to buy. In terms of a gambler, this is a big of a stay away game, as I see all day, especially that over under 41 when it's that low. And I like the under still. That even scares me more. But I'm going to take the Patriots to go into Carolina, win this game. I think they've just been a little bit better than Carolina recently, and I think they're going to show that. Just give me the Pats on the road to win and cover 17-13.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually pretty high on the Pats money line here. If this was a 2.5 point game, I would definitely think they're going to win this with ease and cover. The hook obviously scares you. That's why I'd stay away from me. Pats winning by a field goal seems about right. I will say this: I'm starting to believe in the Pats. I picked them to win the AFC East going into the year. We'll see if that happens. But I do think they make the playoffs this year, and this is one of those games they win. Belichick has started slow previously in his years with Brady and found a way. Mac Jones is still a rookie. He's playing better and better every week. I think that they're going to start hitting a stride, win a few games in a row, and it continues after a huge win against the Chargers last week and Justin Herbert. So I like the Pats to win and cover. The hook does scare me, but I'll still take the Pats to cover 23-17 New England.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on the Pats. Obviously, a big win last week against the Chargers. And my biggest thing here is obviously they're both 4-4, but the Pats offense has been cooking the last 4 weeks. And if you include the Jet game, they're averaging 34 points a game. If you take that away, they're averaging 27. And so with the over-under sitting at 41, it's scary how much I like the over here. But either way, I think the Pats win this game. Sam Darnold is all sorts of banged up. He's a concussion, and now he's a shoulder injury. So he might not even play in this game. So give me the Pats here. I'm not going to think twice about it. And like I said, I like the over a scary amount. I'm going to go Pats 27-20.
Darnold, was this the last time he played the Pats? Was that the Seeing Ghosts game? Would have been the last time, because that was probably when Brady.
I mean, that was against the Pats, but when you're on the Jets, you're playing the Pats a couple times a year. So
yeah, that's true.
But that game was against the Pats, that's for sure. All right, sticking with an AFC East team here. Buffalo heading down to Jacksonville. Bills 14.5 point road favorites here, a big number on the road. Over under 48.5. And I did go too deep into this one. I'm just gonna say the Bills. Bills are gonna go on the road and actually cover this. I've been taking the dog with all these points a lot this year. I don't feel like this is a spot to do that, even though I do feel like the dog has actually hit a lot of those. Give me the Bills. I feel like the Bills are kind of a little off balance right now. I still think they're a very good team, a legit contender in the AFC, and this feels like a game to get right. Look for Stephon Diggs to finally have his big game. I've been calling for that for the past couple of weeks. This feels like this could be it. And the Bills run away with this one in Jacksonville. Give me the Bills hitting 40 points again this season. I'll go 42-20.
Yeah, again, I mean, for me, I think the Bills are going to cover this too. I love the over in this game, which if I love it, beware recently. But I just, for me, it's one of those things where you see the Bills putting up at least 30 and the Jags have gotten blown out, but put up points either way. You know, Trevor Lawrence obviously has thrown a lot of picks, but has scored some touchdowns as well. I don't have too much on this. I think the Bills roll here. I think the Jags score some garbage time points, which gives them, which gets that over at 48.5. I'm surprised it isn't a little bit higher, being the Bills offense is really just that good against the Jags defense like that. So I'll take the Bills win and cover with ease, 35-20.
All right, I'm going to be the lone man on the Jags here to cover. I'm going to take the Bills to win, but I think 14.5 is too much here. I think the Bills, other than the Chiefs game this year, really just haven't looked like themselves. I mean, last week they were 15-point favorites against the Finns, and they ended up covering the backdoor cover with like a last-second touchdown. But they didn't look like themselves, and the Dolphins very easily or could have won that game heading into the fourth quarter, which is very worrisome if you're a Bills fan. I'm not going to say the Jags are going to win this game. I just think 14.5 points is a lot of points for a home dog. Obviously, the Jags haven't looked good. I mean, they just got smoked by Seattle and Geno Smith. But with that being said, I'm going to take the 14.5 here. I'll go Bills 31-20.
Everyone likes you over there, huh?
Yeah.
On the Bills. All right, Chaz, we're going to go to you first for this game here. Big game in your division. Cleveland heading to Cincinnati. Cincinnati, 2.5-point favorites at home. Over under 47. The AFC North there is almost as always shaping up to be one of the most exciting divisions to watch as we hit the second half of the season. How do we feel about this game in Cincy?
Yeah, this is a massive one. As a Raven fan, I hope the Bengals win, I hope the Browns win. I'm sorry. But I think the Bengals are going to win. Obviously, a complete letdown last week against the Jets. And now they're coming home, though, and they're getting a division rival. And the Browns, they have a lot going around them, obviously, with Odell, who looks like played his last game for the Browns. I think that whole situation is just causing a distraction. Obviously, they have Nick Chubb back, but I think it's a bad time for the Browns to have to go into Cincinnati coming off, one of their worst losses they've had probably in recent years, 10.5-point favorites and lose the game outright. So I'll take the Bengals, get back on track here. I'm going to go 20-17 Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Bengals here. I just
there it is.
my thing being, I see this as a 3-point with the hook. I just don't see the Browns winning this outright. Obviously, they could still cover with the 2.5, but like you said, Chaz, so much going on in Cleveland. You watch Baker's press conferences; he just looks angry at all times, and there's just too much going on there. I think last week for the Bengals was an anomaly, and they just kind of didn't really know how to be that favorited and kind of took the Jets lightly. I don't think they do that. They go home and they pick up a much-needed win against a Browns team that is just in dysfunction right now, as Cleveland might be getting back to their old ways. They're a little banged up, and I just think Joe Burrow comes out and plays really well and puts this game to ease for the Bengals. So I'll take them to win, cover 27-20.
Yeah, on the ride with you guys on this one too. We'll all be on Cincy to win and cover here. Said about a month ago, it's starting to feel like the Browns almost may be the Browns again, and it's starting to shape up to be that way. And it's incredible how, there's still half a season left. They still have the players on defense. They're still able to run the ball. They still may get in the playoffs for all we know, but I'm really starting to turn against this Cleveland team, and amazing how quick I think they could go from finally being on the rise to just going right back downhill. Chaz, as you said, the Odell situation is a mess. There's just too much going on there. And this Cincy team that we all talked about before the season thought that, they're ready to take a step off. I think it's taken a bigger step than any of us anticipated coming into the season. Letdown game against the Jets. I think they came in last week, took Mike White and that whole team too lightly. And I think they'll bounce back after that. So they're right with you guys. Give me the Bengals to win this one and cover 24-17. Like the under 47 too. That number feels high for that game.
Gang, I feel like you've been obviously off the Baker train for a while, but what do you pay that guy, if any? You can't offer him anywhere near.
Don't offer him. Fucking you let him go.
Yeah, Case Keenum could do just as well as we saw as he.
Yeah, yeah. You have a great offensive line, great talent at receivers, and guys that could run the ball, and you literally can't make it throw. I don't know if you guys actually watched that video that Odell's dad put up, but he was not wrong.
I didn't actually watch it, but I saw
the throws Baker missed, and just because a lot of it it's not Baker just not throwing him the ball straight up. There are times he missed Odell wide open, but half of that video too is Baker actually trying to get him the ball. The throw is just terrible. Odell has no chance of catching the ball, and there's no one fucking near him to make a play.
He's not the guy there.
All right. Big game here for you two. Atlanta and New Orleans. I don't know where they go to you first on this one. Your Saints 6-point favorites at home, over under 42 here. New Orleans stay rolling. Brutal injury to Jameis Winston, though.
Yeah, so I'm going to take the Saints to cover here. I just because of that hook at 6, given that 7-point win. The Falcons are tough for me. I don't really know where they're at because sometimes they show up and look very good, and other days they just don't. I think losing Calvin Ridley is going to hurt them. Obviously, it would hurt any team, given how talented he is. And for me, the Saints, their defense is that good. Obviously, they give up some points against Brady, but when it came time to show up, they did, and they have, and they're back at home against a much, much less talented team in Atlanta this week. I don't think that there could be problems will hurt them this week. It will farther down the line, but as of now, Sean Payton's going to put his quarterbacks in a position to succeed, and their defense is going to hold Atlanta to very few points. I see this kind of ugly game in New Orleans, but I think the Saints win and cover here. I'm going to go 20-13 New Orleans.
All right, maybe we'll come back to this one because I'm going to take the Falcons to win this game outright. No, Falcons kind of slow start to the season, figure it out, lose next week, but I'm actually kind of starting to buy what I say to this Falcon team. I think it could work. I almost don't think Calvin Ridley leaving it's not the worst thing for this team because Kyle Pitts, after a slow first few weeks, is starting to pick it up. All of a sudden, you get more looks, more opportunities. And to be honest, whether it's Taysom Hill or Trevor Siemian, I just do not trust the Saints offense at all. I mean, I actually prefer Trevor Siemian if I'm a Saints fan than Taysom Hill because I really don't trust that offense when he's a quarterback. But we'll see what we could do. I mean, this Saints offense is, for the most part, very boring the past couple of years. Nothing too flashy. Alvin Kamara brings all the entertainment to it, and that's about it. I think the Falcons are going to find a way to score some points still, keep up with this. And like I said, when it's all said and done, with Jameis Winston out for the Saints, I actually think the Falcons are the better team right now. So I'm going to take them to bounce back this week on the road and win this game outright 21-20.
All right, I'm gonna split you guys. I'm gonna take the Saints to win, Falcons to cover. I will say you guys bashed me last week for the Falcons, and my Panthers beat them. So I was finally right on a Falcons game.
Yep.
So there's one. Let's see if I can do it 2 weeks in a row. But yeah, obviously the Jameis injury is brutal, and the Saints have looked good. Their defense is legit, and it sucks for Jameis, and obviously now Michael Thomas is out for the year after another hiccup in his ankle injury. So kind of two big injury blows for the Saints, but the Falcons obviously no Calvin Ridley. I expect this to be low scoring, even though over under is 42. I actually have it going over, but the Falcons I'm not buying into. I just think whoever it is, Taysom Hill, who has been out 3 weeks with a concussion, or Trevor Siemian, who is just a horrible quarterback. Shout out Gara. I think the Falcons are going to cover here. So I'll go Saints to find a way to win. Close game, 24-20.
How about them Saints, huh?
Possible bet there, Adam.
What'd you say?
So we got some games to go through, but we possibly going back to that one.
I think that'll end up.
Yeah. So I'm pretty confident in Atlanta. Do you feel confident in New Orleans? Yeah. All right, let's go to my Giants here. 3-point dogs at home against the Raiders, over under 46.5. We'll talk pre-show. A lot of stories going on with Henry Ruggs in Vegas right now. Now we got the Giants team, their whole running back room getting knocked out with COVID amongst other players and coaches and everything. So scary game here. Definitely one as a gambler I'm going to stay away from when it comes to betting. With that said, this ain't the first time the Raiders are going through a storyline this year. And now you had the whole John Gruden situation earlier. And they came out that week and found a way to kind of shut everyone up, prove them wrong, and go win a football game against Denver. And that's almost Derek Carr's specialty. The guy's had a roller coaster of a career, damn near MVP 1 year, falls off, working his way back up. Obviously won't be an MVP season, but finally putting up those numbers we saw in that year. He was almost MVP again. And I think Derek Carr's kind of come out again, quiet the critics, and show him that, no, he has his team on his back. They're currently first in a good AFC West division, and they have another winnable game here in New York. So I'm going to take the Raiders to win this game and cover 24-20. Now, as a Giant fan, I'm going to send this message to Joe Judge because I know a lot of Giant fans want to like Joe Judge, want to buy into him. I think it's the way he talks. You keep saying you're going to get this team ready to play all this and that, but start winning some fucking games, bud, because your talk is starting to piss off New York a lot.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, you make a good point. This is a bit of a stay away game. Two teams don't really know what to expect, but I'm not necessarily buying the Raiders as much as I am just buying Derek Carr. I think the guy is an elite quarterback in the NFL. Is that a crazy statement? I mean, he's just playing. Even when they haven't won, he plays well. He knows this system. Darren Waller should be back. I'm not going to pick the Giants. I had him pick big upset a couple weeks ago, I think, just because I felt like it. I'm not going to do that this week. Sometimes when this kind of stuff happens with teams, it makes them better, and they're taking that us against the world kind of mentality, and they're winning football games, and I'm going to keep riding that. So I think the Raiders win here. The Giants, no one's healthy on the Giants team again, but I'm going to take the Raiders to win and cover in probably a cold Sunday in New York. I'm going to go 27-17.
All right, I'm going to do it. G-Man get a win here, boys. This is solely based on obviously everything going on with the Raiders. But
I feel like Chaz picked it against Carolina too with the Giants.
No, that was me.
Yeah.
That was you, Adam?
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't do that. But I think the Giants here, I mean, obviously we'll see who plays and who doesn't play for them. But, I mean, they went into Arrowhead last week, and obviously the Chiefs aren't playing well, but they could easily, very, very easily could have won that game. Now they come home, and like AT said, probably cold game in MetLife. I think they just find a way to win a game here against a team that is probably not going to be too focused. There's a lot going on. So this is more of a feel. I'm not going to be betting this. I'm not telling everyone to house the Giants here. I'm just more of a feeling. Good. D-Men win 23-21.
I'll take it. Bye week next week. But guess what? You get to watch the Giants Monday night again after that in Tampa.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I really think that was going to be a good game. Well, I guess yeah.
They almost beat them last year on Monday night.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. Giants keep games close. That's true.
Yeah. All right, 4:00 swing here. We're going to start off in Philly. Chaz, like I said, I know I like to go to you for these games because you got all the talk of Philly radio out by you. And now here they are, fresh off a not massive victory, a blowout victory is the word I'm looking for against Detroit here. So I'm sure Philly radio has this team going to the Super Bowl again. They are 2-point dogs at home to the Chargers here, over under 50. What is the talks out west?
I mean, yeah, everyone has them in the playoffs now. They're all complaining that they should have been buyers at the deadline. Once Miles Sanders comes back, they're going to go on a crazy run. All the good stuff. I will say though, a lot of people thought the Lions were going to win that game, including me. The Lions have played a lot of really good teams well. I mean, the Lions looked horrific last week. And the fact that, I mean, the one thing the Eagles did, though, they ran the football, and that's something they haven't done all year. So I expect that to continue now for the rest of the year because now Nick Sirianni knows that, running the football works in the NFL. But obviously they're not going to have as much success as they had last week. Boston Scott and Jordan Howard just did whatever they wanted. This is an interesting game, though. I mean, the Eagles have not played well at home. I think they're 0-3 at home. The Chargers now are coming off 2 straight losses, and I've had high hopes for the Chargers all year. I picked them to lose last week. I think this is a bounce back game. Obviously, come across country, it's a tough game here, especially against an Eagle team that just blew out a team. A lot of confidence, but I'll trust Herbert and the Chargers to get back on track here. Might not be pretty, but I think they get it done. I'll go 24-20 Chargers.
Yeah, I mean, Chaz, I'm with you. I see this as a pick'em game, obviously with only 2-point spread. I don't think the Chargers are as bad as they have been. And, Herbert struggled a little bit last week, still put up 24 points. But I think it's just a bounce back for him. One of those feelings where great QBs, they have a few bad games, but they bounce back. And I think Herbert does. He takes over this game. I think Philly will keep it close. but it's just one of those games where you have Justin Herbert and you find a way to win. Should be fun to watch. I actually think the Eagles have a chance to win this one at home. But they're not going to run with the same success. Well, maybe they will, but I don't see them run with the same success against the Chargers. They'll figure it out defensively, and Herbert finds a way to win this game late. In a close one, fun game to watch. I'm going to go 27-24 LA.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I got the Chargers winning and covering here. Feel like the Eagles are one of the few teams I've been pretty hot with when it comes to picking their games this year. But I'm going to pick next on Philly. The Chargers are simply the better team. Eagles are better than what I anticipated at the start of the season. Still, I'll stick with saying that. They have impressed me in some spots, but Chargers need to get back on track here. I still think they're a very good team in the AFC. Have a chance to even still win that division with how wide open the AFC West is. And this is a game they need to bounce back and win, because when it's all said and done, they are just much better than this Philly team. Philly will keep it close at home. Chargers do pull it out. I'm with you guys. Give me Herbert late in this game, especially over Hurts. I'll take the Chargers 27-24, but if Philly wins this game, then really watch out, Philly radio, because that's going to be some type of treat.
Oh, yeah. Let's just hope that doesn't happen.
Sometimes I don't hate when they win those games, just so I can get the stats from you and everything, and the messages on what's being said out there. Because it really is ridiculous sometimes.
No, I always hate when they win those games.
It's fun. They really will be. They're going to the Super Bowl if they win that game.
It's not even going to be a question.
2 wins in a row. Come on. All right, the supposed to be game of the day, a little bit different now. Green Bay and Kansas City. Kansas City 7.5-point favorites at home, over under 48. Green Bay, unfortunately, drilled with COVID again. This time it takes out quarterback, possible MVP, last year's MVP, Aaron Rodgers for this game. Ruins what was going to be a hell of a game, I think, to watch, and still may be entertaining and everything, but I mean, you get a chance for Rodgers and Mahomes once every 4 years, unless they want to find themselves in the Super Bowl. And unfortunately, we're not going to get that this year right now. And a spot where Green Bay is rolling since their week 1 loss, and Kansas City's been up and down. Could have been a big home game, big win at home to maybe get Kansas City right. And it still may be. With that said, I'm actually going to take the Packers to cover plus 7.5 here. I am not going to tell you to bet them. I'll never bet Green Bay if Aaron Rodgers is not on the field, but I will hold for them to cover. I mean, Kansas City's defense is, obviously came out against the Giants that's missing their whole offense, but we know they've been damn near historically bad this year, and not for nothing. Nobody really knows what to expect from Jordan Love. No one really has that much tape on him when it comes to a game like this. So Jordan Love can come out against a weak defense, have a chance to make some plays and kind of keep this Packer team in it. Meanwhile, the Chiefs on offense still struggling a bit, turning the ball over a lot. Mahomes turning the ball over more than he's ever had in his whole career combined, I think, this year right now. And Packers defense, they came out ready to play with them missing all their receivers last week, keeping them in the game, giving Aaron Rodgers a chance to beat a good Cardinals team, which he did. I think this Packers defense could cause a little problems for the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to be too much with Mahomes and no Rodgers at the end, but the Packers cover this one. I still expect some points, and I still like that over 48. I'll drop 6 points without Rodgers. I'll still take it. Still have this game going to the 50s, 28-24 Chiefs.
Yeah, gang. I mean, you saved a lot of what I was thinking. I kind of feel like Jordan Love's going to come out and play well, just to add a little controversy to this whole situation. That's just kind of NFL's thing. And Rodgers. I mean, Rodgers is funny because he does all this stuff, blah blah blah, and then then he's like lying to the media about having the vax and stuff. It's a whole ball game for him, and I think he likes the drama, and nothing better than if Jordan Love were to come and play well. It's because it's a bad defense, not because Jordan Love is that fantastic. But I see him having success. It's a good system. They can run the ball. They have a lot of guys around them that can make plays. I assume Devontae Adams will be back.
Yeah, he cleared the COVID thing today, actually. He was back at the facility and everything, so we could expect him out there.
Yeah, I mean, the Packers have a good supporting cast. As much people say they don't want to, they have a very good team around Aaron Rodgers. So I think they cover here. Chiefs find a way to win, get above 500, in a tough place to play, and the crowd's bumping. And I will take a very similar score to you, Gank. I'm going to go Chiefs 27-24.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I'm on the Packers to cover here. I think I'm with AT. I think Jordan Love's gonna come out here and play pretty well. It's his showing out party. He gets a chance to come out and play a pretty high profile game against the Chiefs, who are struggling. And I mean, if there's a defense to do well against in in one of your first games in the NFL, it's this Chiefs defense, who is, I mean, it's just bad. I don't understand how the Giants weren't able to put up more than 17 points last week. But with that being said, I don't know when the next time we're going to see the Chiefs over being under 50. So I think that's my favorite bet in this game. But I'm with you guys. Pack cover. I like the over. Chiefs win 30-24.
Yeah, Adam, I am. I know we were texting yesterday, but I'm not going to give it a full 100%, but I'm a strong 85% that Love is staying in my starting lineup against you this week.
Well, I think it's the right play.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident he's staying there.
Definitely.
We'll see how that goes. But
yeah, well, there are other options, Ben, against the Bears, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he'll probably do good, but play Love.
I think we're playing Love. All right, intriguing game here. Arizona and San Fran. San Fran 1-point underdog at home. Over under 46. Kyler's okay, right? He's playing this game.
He didn't practice today, but I think he's going to play.
I think he'll play. Same thing with D-Hop. D-Hop never practices, but finds himself out there. With that said, as somebody that has been a 49 hater ever since that Super Bowl appearance, here comes the curveball here. I'm actually going to take the Cardinals to lose their second in a row here, and the 49ers to come pick up this win at home. Watch Arizona last week in that Thursday night game. I mean, Aaron Rodgers going out there with zero receivers whatsoever. Green Bay still found success running the ball, and Aaron Rodgers did enough to get them to win the game. And Green Bay's defense really stepped up against this great Arizona offense. And when you look at that formula, it's kind of what San Fran has at home here. And almost a must-win for San Fran if they want to keep any of their season hopes alive. San Fran will be able to run the ball, I think, against this team. And I think their defense caused some problems for Arizona, especially if Kyler and D-Hop are out there playing a little banged up. We won't be seeing AJ Green out there and everything. There's a lot going on. This all of a sudden it just feels like a very winnable game for San Fran. So I think game management is the big key here for San Fran. They run the ball, burn the clock. The defense does what it has to keep them in it, and they pull it out late in this one. Give me the Niners 23-20 at home.
Yeah, gang, we got another big disagreement because I completely disagree. I think the Cardinals win this game. I don't care when Kyler practices. He's going to play this week. And I watched the Niners. They played well against the Bears. Don't get me wrong. They ran the ball extremely well. But, we're talking about an Arizona Cardinals offense they have to keep up with, not a Chicago Bears offense. So I don't really see this. The Niners, they played well last week and a must win, but I think the Cardinals are just significantly a better team. The Cardinals have had success against the Niners even when they were in that Super Bowl run. And I think that they really take care of business this week. And the Niners got to get that last blow to their season, possibly going 3-5 after this. They're also 0-3 at home this year, surprisingly. The 49ers are. So I'll take the Cards to win, cover. They'll keep it somewhat close, but I like 28-20 Arizona.
I'm with Gank here. I'm taking the Niners to win. Desperate team at home. I'm going to back them. And obviously, I'm probably the biggest Cardinal supporter on the show. And I think this is just a spot that they lose. Obviously, Kyler being hurt doesn't help things. Obviously, Hopkins, like Gank said, he never practices, he plays. But I think the Kyler injury, whether he's limited of what he can do during the game with his legs and making throws on the run or whatever it is, I just think this Niners team, who, it was against the Bears AT, but I think that was a big win last week, especially when their defense played as bad as they did. Their offense was able to put up points, and they ran the ball, like you said, insanely well. So I think they're going to continue this. I think at home, they're 0-3. They're due for a win. I think they get it here. The Cardinals fall to 7-2. They'll still be in a great spot. Get Kyler healthier after this week. I'm going to go Niners 23-21.
Let's go Niners, huh? It's a very rare
Ain't
time I
taking
picked the
it.
Niners to win in the past couple of years.
Same.
Yeah, that I didn't see the gang pick coming.
All right. Let's get into the Sunday night game here. Adam, big for our matchup here, a little bit bigger for you than me. I do not know if you got McNichols in your starting lineup, do you?
I haven't fully decided, but he's not starting yet. No.
Okay. Regardless, you have Tannehill out there. You got Cooper Kupp out there. I'm throwing Robert Woods at you. With that said, a pretty fun game for Sunday night football here. Rams 7.5-point favorites at home against Tennessee. Over under 53.5. Big story in this game, obviously, Adam. Sorry for you. Other fantasy owners down there, Derrick Henry down, possibly for the rest of the season here. Not what you want to see for the Titans. Arguably as big of an offensive injury outside a quarterback that maybe you could get in the NFL. With that said, though, as long as the Titans can find some success running the football, whether it's with just McNichols, a committee, however they could do it, Tennessee could just keep finding a little success running the ball. I still think this offense works, but I still think it does enough to kind of keep up this Rams team and cover this game here. I'm going to pick the Rams to win at home. But the hook is what has me here, plus 7.5. So Titans defense has slowly been coming together these past couple of weeks. And while the Rams defense, you acquire Von Miller, and it just got better. Still have to see it with Von Miller. It's still not as good as it was last year, and I still think Tennessee can find a way to score some points. So I'm going to take the Rams to win here. Titans are going to cover. This is no Derrick Henry sucks, takes away a lot from this game, but I still think this is a fun Sunday night football game to go watch. So kick back, watch it. Give me the Rams 31-24.
Yeah, Gank. I mean, I'm right there with you with all that. I think the Titans lose this game by 7, so they end up covering. I am curious to see what their offense does without Henry. Obviously, that was their full, 80% of their offense. But they still got guys that can play, and maybe Tannehill will take this as an opportunity to play well. I hope for my fantasy team that is the case. It's just kind of sad for football that Henry's out because he was on track to possibly be an MVP for running back, which would have been great, but at least for me. But either way, I think the Titans cover here. Rams win. Fun game, a lot of points. I think it's good when you have a few fantasy guys going here. Similar score to you, Gank. I'm going to go 30-23 LA.
All right, I'm gonna be the lone man on the Rams here. I think obviously Derrick Henry news is brutal for the Titans. I just think this week, obviously they signed AP. I don't expect him to play this week, and I don't think McNichols is really a guy that is a bell cow, as so you can speak. I don't think he's gonna be getting 15 carries or whatever it is. So I think their running game is going to struggle this week. And it is going to be a lot on Ryan Tannehill. Obviously, the Rams are going to score. And obviously, the Rams just traded for Von Miller. So the Rams, they are completely all in for this season. And I think the Rams are going to come out ready to play in this game, fired up. I think this is a bad week for the Titans. I'm not saying this is a knock on them for the rest of the year. Just bad spot here. Give me the Rams 33-21.
Be good for Julio Jones for you, though, there, Chaz.
Yeah, it is.
It's one thing. All right, Monday Night Football, Adam. Your Bears and that great offensive line on the road in Pittsburgh here. Pittsburgh 6-point favorites at home. Over under 40. If I'm not mistaken, I think Justin Fields has been sacked at least 4 times in like 3 of the last 4 games, something along those lines. The Bears going to hold up against this defense that seems like it's slowly starting to turn like the Pittsburgh defense we expected to see this year.
Yeah, no, they're in trouble. Let's just put it that way. It's just a horrible matchup for them. A team that can run the ball, not turn the ball over, and play really good defense against them is just not ideal. I will say last week I was pretty confident the Bears would win that game. That was because that's the game they had won the past few years. I was shocked they lost last week. And really because their defense. They lost Khalil Mack before the game and didn't play, and Eddie Jackson, their safety, was out. But, they still got guys that could play, and they got just run all over. Of course, the 1 week the offense kind of shows up, the defense doesn't. That's just kind of how it works, right? But I think the Steelers are going to kind of cruise Monday night. I don't really see how the Bears offensive line will stop TJ Watt in any way, shape, or form. So he's gonna have a big day, just like Myles Garrett did a couple weeks ago. So I think it's gonna be a blow. And like I said pre-show, I think Matt Nagy, this might be his last game as the Chicago Bears coach because of bye week coming next week. So I'll take the Steelers to win and cover with these 27-17.
Man, cross your fingers that it is, buddy. But with that said, I mean, Adam, I was with you last week on the Bears. Thanks that Niner team that we know I'm strongly against. And if you told me the Bears were to score as many points as they did in that game, I definitely would have told you I really love the Bears to win that game outright. And fortunately, it wasn't enough. But yeah, I mean, we feel to be on the same page with Bears games a lot because I feel the same way. I think this Pittsburgh defense is going to have a little bit of a field day against this offensive line, Justin Fields. I can see numerous turnovers coming from the Bears. It's going to lead to some easy points for the Steelers. And it's a primetime game, so I'm hoping it stays somewhat close, make it interesting at least in the end. But when it's all said and done, I can see Pittsburgh running with this one. As always, a thrilling total in the Bears game at 40 here, but give me the Steelers 24-13.
Yeah, I'm going to keep this one pretty quick. Steelers massive win last week on the road in Cleveland, especially after the whole second half they didn't have a kicker because Chris Boswell just got fucking popped when he tried to throw that football on the big punt, which is just awesome. And then the Bears had a horrible, at home loss game that they should have won. Their defense played horrible. So I mean, if the Bears defense doesn't play well, they stand a zero chance in this game. So I think the Steelers coming home after a huge win. I think they take care of business here. I'll go 23-13 Pitt.
All right. I want to just go to Falcons Saints.
I'm with that.
Make this quick and easy. I'll take Atlanta +6.
I can ride with my Saints.
Taysom Hill is a full participant today in practice, by the way. So.
Oh man, let's go. I hope he starts. I feel better about myself if he starts too.
He's probably going to start.
Yeah, I almost want Simeon to start that game. I don't know. I guess we'll see how they use Taysom.
Yeah. All right. With that said, Adam, you lead us off too.
Yeah.
All right, Bull.
Do you have these written down before the show, or are we sticking with these picks here?
I'm gonna change one. I'll change one because I'll listen to the boys who have been picking better than me. I really like the Cardinals, but I'm gonna back out on that one. So
I remember you said that one.
What'd you say?
Somewhere they keep that one in the back of the mind.
We'll
one
remember.
you backed out on.
I'll be hitting that Sunday.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Bengals -2.5. I think the Browns are in serious trouble. They're just not there. And, Joe Burrow coming off a loss, good quarterbacks just kind of bounce back. So I really like that. I will also take the over in the Bills-Jags game. I think I took the over last week with the Bills, and they kind of screwed me. But, again, I'm not going to bounce off that offense that quick, and Jags will put up points. And we're gonna actually do some. I'm not sure if we've done this in a while, but I am gonna take the Steelers -6 and lock against my Bears. I don't see it. I really do think they're gonna get smoked on Monday night, and that's gonna be kind of watch that be the one time I'm off with them. So we'll see.
All right. So I got 4 written down here. One of them was Atlanta +6. I am not going to double down on that. I saw that backfire on you, Adam, but I kind of like my other 3 just as much here. We are going to double down on one game. I'll start with that one. I'm going to go under 47 in Cleveland and Cincinnati. I like Cincinnati to win. I think they get a job done, but Cleveland's kind of a mess, but their defense is still that strong suit there. So I think they're going to make the plays and maybe potentially keep them in that one. They go with an over for the second one where they go to Houston, Miami, and over 46 in that. And then last but not least, I hate not having a dog in there, but don't really have one I love so much. But Chaz, I'm going to go to your Ravens and take them -6. 2 weeks of prep for this game. After that loss, they come out firing and take care of business at home here.
All right. I like that. I mean, I wasn't going to take them. So, but my first pick, I'm going to go right back to that game. I'm going to take the over. I think that game has points written all over it, over 49.5. Game 2, might get screwed here, but I love this. I said it before. I love it a scary amount. I'm going to go over 41 in Pats Panthers. And my last one, I will take. I feel like I'm so bad against picking the Eagles, but I'm going to go with the Chargers -2.
Oh, I like that. Locking against your birds.
They ain't my birds.
No, God.
Yeah. All right.
I actually don't know if I've ever locked against the Bears because I really don't like to pick them, but
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I don't know if I ever locked against the Giants. I feel like maybe once, but like 4 years running this show, that's a very small percentage.
I've never locked the Ravens or against the Ravens.
Yeah, I know I've locked the actual Giants a couple times, and more times than not, that's backfired. Obviously. Yeah. Well, they have cover log games recently. All right, boys. That is it. Adam, you had first dibs. We're gonna remember that Arizona game, but hey, let's see. That's 2 winning weeks in a row. Let's see if we hit that lucky number 3 and get rolling here.
Yes, sir.